Amazing. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. We have a truly exciting session for you all, but before we begin, I'll start with who I am and why I'm here. I'm Ariel Russo, and I lead community efforts here for Brand Innovators, and a huge part of this rewarding role means I get the opportunity to work with the most incredible, innovative, and inspiring leaders of today. Which brings me to our purpose for this session. Today, we will welcome thought leader and marketing expert Melissa Hughes to the stage. Melissa is the Senior Director of Brand Marketing for Founders Table, representing two of our favorite food brands, Chopped and Dos Toros. So please join us as we dive into Melissa's incredible marketing journey, her new role in the restaurant industry, and of course, a few surprises and insights along the way. Let's begin. Hello, Melissa.
Hey, thank you so much for having me today.
Amazing. Well, let's go to the first question. You have an extensive and impressive background with very well-known brands from Unilever, Henkel, and L'Oreal. Can you dive into your CPG journey and, of course, the series of events that led you to your new and exciting role with Founders Table?
Yes, so I've spent my last roughly 10 years in the CPG industry, beginning my career at Unilever as a part of their Unilever Future Leaders program, which was where I can definitely say I gained my foundation, doing everything from global digital marketing at Ben & Jerry's, hopping over to India to work on Lipton tea, and really being able to bring the launch of dry spray deodorant to life with Dove, Degree, and Axe as a part of the master brand team. And most recently, spending time at L'Oreal as a part of their multicultural beauty division and having the dynamic opportunity to restage, rebrand, and breathe new life into the Dark and Lovely brand, which is so close to my heart, and loving to continue to see that brand flourish. And now hopping over to combine my passion for food with my love for marketing here at Founders Table.
That is so exciting. So tell us more about what your role looks like, and more so, what most attracts you about working with delicious brands like Chopped and Dos Toros.
For me, what drove me to this decision to really take on not only a new industry, but some new, very loved East Coast brands was really the combination of I have a food page on Instagram. I'm a foodie all the time. I love exploring new places. And how can I do that and bring it to life for fast casual restaurants in a space, in a sector, and a time where people are taking the love for experiential with the quick and amazing food delivery that you get from a place like Chopped, and bring it to life and expand it. It's in a Founder Table is in a growth mode, and Chopped is in a growth mode. And so exciting to continue to open new restaurants in new cities and bring the love and creativity of salad everywhere.
I love that. So what is your Instagram handle, just so everyone can go and follow you?
Yeah, it's the Chef Melly on Instagram, bringing to life what's for dinner around every day. Not so consistent with content, but almost every day with new fun recipes.
Amazing. We'll have to drop that again at the end of the chat so everyone knows where to follow you. In your current role right now, in your day-to-day position, what about your role do you like the most?
My favorite part of this new journey has been definitely tasting food at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays, having the opportunity to sit with our chefs from our food and beverage team, learn about the different spices and ingredients and unique proposition that makes us unique. When I think about Chopped and I think about everything that I've learned in the past few weeks from the founders is that they are not only involved, but they're ingrained and they believe that better tastes better. And they're going to continue to strive to bring better ingredients, bold flavors, and more creative salads into the marketplace every single day.
What an exciting role where you get to taste and innovate at the same time.
Yes.
So what learnings do you think that you can take from your experience in the CPG space that will most contribute to your success in the restaurant industry? So in other words, what ways does CPG do it well, and how can you translate that success to both Chopped and Dos Toros?
CPG is comprised of so many, what I can say, marketing giants, right? Those companies are marketing first, and you enter into a space where data is endless, and you have the ability to really analyze, and you can go into analysis paralysis for days over kind of what makes consumers, choose different points. So if it's like when I was working at Hinkle, the color pink, right? Like anything pink sold, right? And we knew that if we wanted to drive things, adding pink to it really worked. Um, and I think when you look at the food industry and you think about the data is there because we all own it. We know what consumers order. We know how they're ordering. So bringing that rich set of data set to life and being able to understand and continue to optimize and making the consumer experience in store, online, more seamless and more comprehensive, and being able to reach more people on a daily basis is kind of what I'm most excited to bring over from the CPG space.
Amazing. A ton of similarities, of course, rooted in data to bring to the restaurant industry. And I'm wearing pink lipstick, so there you go. So let's go back to the beginning. Is there any defining moment or person that led you into the world of marketing? Tell us more about what mentorship means to you and how mentorship has shaped your own professional career journey.
So mentorship for me is definitely at the crux. If I remember, I was a young sophomore at Howard University where I had the opportunity to go to a career fair and meet Chuck Najum from Unilever very early in my career. I remember the moment I handed him my resume, he went through it and he's like, you spelled the word guest wrong. And I was like, I was just so taken aback. And I was like, I was on a mission, not only to fix it, but to correct it and to make sure that, kind of leading with excellence everywhere since then. And I ran back, fixed my resume, sent him an email, gave him a hard copy the next day when I saw him at the career fair. And that moment really was my entry point into CPG, entry point into marketing. And it's a space that I've loved, and I've continued to not only grow through having mentors along the way, like David Greenberg at L'Oreal, some phenomenal mentors along the way at Hinkle and Unilever as well, but always keeping a mentor and a sponsor, because you need mentors, but you also need sponsors as you go throughout your career, and being that person that also looks back and helps others. So I've always wanted to lift as I climb throughout the industry, not only for women, but also for other leaders, because at the end of the day, having people that not only look like you is very important in the workplace, but also being able to support individuals as they're coming up throughout their career.
I love all of that. I mean, everything you're just saying is amazing. And to see, a spelling mistake on a resume to where you are now, it just proved that anything can really happen in your career. So as a woman of color, what are the challenges you've had to overcome to establish yourself as a leader you are today? And how have these experiences shaped your own leadership style?
Yes, I think when you look at the marketing industry, you see all different types of people. But when you look at the leaders far and far as you go up, you see less and less women of color in this space. And I think it's very important not only to be able to be you and bring your whole self to work every single day. I think it's the balance of having people understand who you are. I think one of the biggest challenges I faced throughout my career is this thought or theory of what executive presence is supposed to look like. What is it supposed to sound like? Who are you supposed to be in the rooms that you're in? And I think for me, my defining moment or my defining kind of element is keeping true to who I am. I'm a very bubbly person. I'm very bold in my decision making. I'm very direct in my conversations. And I think being sticking true to who I am and not trying to transform to the spaces that I'm in has been my way to continue to shine in this industry.
So in keeping true to who you are, how do you foster a diverse working environment? And what do you think brands can do better to create more equitable talent opportunities across the board when it comes to hiring?
When you think about equitable talent opportunities, I really focus on finding ways to connect with the community you serve. If you know that X% of your consumer base is, Hispanic or Afro Latino or Afro or Black, I think there's really key things that you should do to ensure your team reflects that as well. Because when you're looking at creative and you're looking to speak to these consumers, having a point of reference, but not using them as your sole point of view. I think having consumer groups and doing consumer research is super important, but hiring talent that fits those communities is also very, very, very important these days, because the nuances that you would never expect to know off the top or get back from a data set are just so rich and so important. And I think when you get those people on your team supporting them, you may not have the same weekend experiences, you may not have the same family background, but being able to have just common points that lead back to greater business results are really important. And getting to understand them and understand where they come from and what drives their decision making really changes the relationship.
Exactly. And even beyond your own position as a mentor and a leader, what are the ways beyond the workplace you look to elevate and empower young women of color into the space?
I think outside of the workplace, I sit on the board of Horizons National Foundation, which is a foundation that helps summer learning gaps that children typically have from not experiencing reading, learning opportunities during summer. So it's a summer camp that really has proven to elevate people who start out up to 3 grade levels during one summer. Through that program, I have been able to help really impact children in underrepresented communities not only begin to excel, but continue to excel after that. I think even during my time at L'Oreal, I created the first partnership between Howard and L'Oreal, where Brainstorm was integrated into every single classroom during the school year. So every single student had the opportunity in the School of Business to participate in a case study opportunity. That resulted in the hiring increase of over 246% at L'Oreal of multicultural talent, coming in strictly just from the pipeline that was created from the Howard University L'Oreal partnership through Brainstorm.
Wow, that's incredible. Even starting to think, before someone even starts their career, how can we give them the tools and help them excel? So important. When we look at marketing, I think marketers today are especially challenged to take actions with their efforts regarding their DE&I journeys. And as a leader coming into a new role, how do you envision your marketing strategies at Founders Table to reflect a more equitable and diverse future for its consumers?
I think when you think about from a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint, there is a long road to go for corporate America in general. I think when we look at the boxes, right, there's this vision of equality, there's this vision of equity, and there's this vision of really liberation. And I hope to get to the point where liberation is found. And I don't know if you've ever seen the visual where you have the children standing on boxes, and then the last journey of that evolution has liberation, where there's no more fence. So there's no more boxes that need to be created. I think as we continue along that journey, it's about ensuring that when you walk into any of our spaces, that you see a diverse team, you see the ability for all people to be able to access our food. Because when we think about food deserts in America and across the country, being able to work to bring food opportunities across and education about healthy food options is something that Founders Table has been doing for the last 10 years. Chopped has a partnership with Wellness to the Schools, and that program has been bringing food health to the New York City area for the last 10 years. Our CEO sits on the board of Wellness to the Schools as well.
Wow. It seems like Founders Table is doing a lot of incredible work. So I would love to shift gears and ask if you could tell us even more about Founders Table and its brands and Dos Toros and Chopped at a high level overview.
Yeah, no, very high level, very new to the brand, but I would say Founders Table is a group of phenomenal entrepreneurs that have come together and to truly lead a revolution of bringing the best food and the best food quality across the East Coast today and hopefully expanding beyond. It's comprised of both Chopped Creative Salad Company as well as Dos Toros, which was acquired in mid-2020.
That's so exciting because, well, Chopped celebrated its 20th birthday this year. So how is the organization celebrating?
Chopped has been around for over 20 years, thriving throughout the East Coast, opening up new restaurants. We just opened up one in my area this past week in Stamford, Connecticut, and really excited to turn 20, but I think it's even more exciting to turn 21. So look out for what's to come in 2022, where we will be celebrating 21 years of salad fun.
That is so exciting. I think that's all you can tell us for now, right?
That's all I can drizzle in for now, but definitely more exciting things to come. So continue to look out, follow us on Instagram. And as we kind of come of age and we kind of show you what it means to be 21 years in the making.
You'll have to come back onto the stage for the formal 21st celebration.
Yes, I think I might have to come back.
So talking about the past year, the past 18 months have been a challenging and uncertain time, of course. What are the ways in which you motivate your colleagues, your team members, your direct reports to just keep going?
I think it's all about balance. I think in the last 18 months, we've learned that we can all work from home. We've learned that we can all really thrive in different environments. And I think where it's necessary, how we connect is even more important, and even more important that it's meaningful when we're connecting together. And what I really, really enjoy about joining Founders Table is this point of connection. When we're in the office on Tuesdays, the team comes together, we all eat lunch together, we all have a moment, and it's really, really unique. And it's very powerful and different from any kind of group that I've been in prior, because it's really, one, we're tasting new foods. We're not always eating the same thing. So we're continuing to kind of explore our own food journey. And then it's also about building the community back up, because I think we've all been remote. We've all been kind of in our own silos. And so how you build community is super important, and how you motivate your team. I personally, I'm a servient leader. And so I want to make sure that not only is my team still growing and being stretched by opportunities in their remote or in-person workspaces, but giving them the opportunity to ask questions and be inquisitive and take on new things that they've never done before. Because when you're challenged and you start using a different part of your brain, it incites kind of just new opportunities that we could have probably never reached before.
Totally. I mean, those points of connection are very powerful, and it's just incredible to see you as a leader coming in and creating that incredible environment. And I know you touched on this a little bit, but what exactly about leadership excites you the most?
I think what excites me is being able to develop the talent of tomorrow, because at the end of the day, I want that person that's behind me to be able to take my job. They should be, if I ever decide to get up and walk away, they should never feel lost. They should never feel as if they cannot take on, the duties, because they've been guided and they've been nurtured to really grow. I think that is what, excites me about the opportunity of leadership and the ability to lead, and leading with purpose and passion behind everything I do.
Is that why L'Oreal, Henkel, and Unilever are all doing so well right now?
I mean, I wouldn't say
hands.
it's just my hand in it, but no, I think even when I look back at my time at Henkel, I remember writing on my resignation, this person will take my job because this person is ready. And she got the job and she did it, and she
wow.
succeeded in the role because at that point, it was really about, making sure that one, she had a plan that was, when I was leaving, a couple months earlier, I brought her into meetings where I thought it was very purposeful for her to learn and be able to kind of respectfully lead those meetings in my absence. And I think a lot of leaders don't take the opportunity to give their team opportunities where they are put in the position to take your job one day, because they should be able to take your job one day. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but when you make it feel comfortable, the people that you're with are more empowered.
100%. And all I just have to say to this is that when Brand Innovators starts its Rising Talent program, we will definitely be tapping you.
Yes, thank you.
So as you're thinking about your own abilities, you're obviously always ever evolving, developing, but what skills are you looking to develop for your own marketing team this year?
I think the skills that I'm most interested in developing for my new team this year is all around kind of really rediscovering, really honing in on, those core marketing principles. Who is our consumer? What are they thinking? How can we anticipate their needs? How can we continue to grow our consumer base? So really the core fundamentals of marketing, and building and kind of drilling those in, and seeing kind of where we go from there.
So anticipating the needs of your consumers, I must ask, as we are all venturing back into restaurants, what is one way you envision your marketing strategies will shift to adapt to this new consumer of today?
So when we all went into pandemic mode, I will say, we all began ordering to go a lot more. And I really think Chopped was poised in the perfect position to react to that, because we had already been in the New York City market, which had a heavy delivery and to-go business. And seeing that evolve, expand, and grow across the board is amazing. But even more so, our markets that were outside of major cities grew too. And so being able to consistently welcome consumers back into our more urban markets is exciting. It's exciting to serve them even quicker. It's exciting to deliver even better service to them. And we can't wait to bring consumers back in. All of our stores are pretty much back open in the Manhattan area. So we're excited for those consumers to come back as they return to work.
Quicker, quicker, quicker. That is the New York way.
No, it is. And, we launched this new platform of group ordering. So now not only can you order for yourself, but you can now text a link to any of your colleagues. They can place their order themselves, and one person checks out all at one time. So it is such a unique way to welcome people back, because I think not only is it a way for your boss to maybe treat you to lunch, but it's also a great way if you're ordering with friends to get things done, and everything comes fully labeled and customized.
That is so incredible, because I'm just thinking back to the days where I would place orders for about 10 people, get about 5 things wrong, take about an hour doing it. So now it seems like everyone can just fill their own order out. I love that.
Yeah, and it can all be done through a quick, easy link. I mean, we do it here in the office quite often now since we launched the tool a little bit over a week ago, but we're excited to see how it grows.
All right, I'm going to quickly Slack that link to my entire team.
Yes.
So thinking about all of these amazing initiatives, is there any immediate opportunities you're looking to create impact on?
I think immediately I just want to continue to foster this amazing relationship that Founders Table has already built. They have a phenomenal foundation, but I think for me, it's like, how do we continue to grow? I think growth is the word of the day, and it's growing through impactful connections with not only the people internally, but also with our consumers.
Totally. And I know, of course, you have a lot of competitors out there. So are there any ways you're looking to make the brand better stand out in the eye of the consumer?
Oh, yes. I am working to develop those. Can't share the secret sauce just yet. But I think when we look at the competitive landscapes, there's so many brands doing it well, both on a large and small scale, and looking at those brands and continuing to optimize and test and learn. So I think I'm most excited about the test and learn opportunities I'm going to have because in contrary to big CPG, because these are restaurants, I can do 1-2 store tests in different cities and different markets and see what happens and see how each place reacts and really be able to drive change quickly and efficiently. So I am excited for my first big launch to already be happening coming up in November. And so when that comes to life, I think there is an amazing, amazing way to see how innovation can be done in less than 30 days.
That's so exciting. I mean, I've already learned a ton of new innovations within Chopped and Dos Toros, so I'm excited to see what else is out there. I mean, what you just told us is incredible. So I know we touched on about this a little bit earlier, but as we're thinking about the challenging era of COVID, what are the ways Founders Table is stepping in to create a better world? Can you tell us even more about that partnership with Wellness to the Schools?
Yeah, so our founder, Nick Marsh, sits on the board of Wellness to the Schools, and it's truly a program that's bringing education through food and also food availability throughout the New York City area. And so I am really excited to bring that mission and many more of other CHOPS works to life in the coming year. Not only has CHOPS partnered with Wellness to the School, CHOPS does a Gives Day for every single new store opening. Just last week, we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford and donated 100% of our proceeds to the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford. So every single market has a unique connection with the city that it's located in. And I think that's just so unique and so such a point of differentiation. And it's really around bringing food options to youth. And that's kind of the space that they've carved out for themselves and really making sure that youth know about healthy eating choices.
That really is so unique and provides so much room for, social good and innovation at the same time. So I'm really excited again to see what comes to life in the next year. And thinking about the future, what is one prediction you have over the next 12 months for the future of restaurants like Chopped and Dos Toros, just in general?
When I think about the future of restaurants, I think that they are coming back stronger than ever. And people are excited to get out. People are excited to try new things. And as we all get back into our new normal world, I think that even more unique, bold concepts will flourish and emerge and come to life.
Love that. And now I have some just additional questions for you. Tell us about a proud moment in your career and why it was so important to you.
I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I think my proudest moment in my career was really forging the relationship between Howard University and L'Oreal. Why, for me, as an alum of Howard University, what makes Howard unique is the partnerships that it does have in the classroom. And to be able to bring one myself felt as kind of like that check mark, like I had established something, and leaning into great leaders both within L'Oreal, like Erica Culpepper, who supported my vision, as well as our HR team, Kathy Chivas at the time, who truly supported me in my efforts, and being able to execute it and execute it with excellence is what made it truly a proud moment for me. I think from a marketing standpoint, my restage of Dark and Lovely was probably my second proudest moment. Just being able and being trusted with the ability to knock down a logo that had been around for decades, to bring what I call our hero SKU, the Beyonce box of Honey Blonde, Honey Babe Blonde, to the forefront, taking her from being the 90s, early 2000s Beyonce into 21st century Beyonce, giving her a whole new look, restaging the packaging, bringing to life this brand and growing the brand inside and outside of COVID. So pre-COVID, we began to grow. Through COVID, with women coloring at home, we grew like gangbusters. And then in a semi-post COVID world, as the world began to open up, just seeing the brand continue to grow is extremely exciting. Soft Sheen Carson as a brand has and will ever have a very soft spot in my heart.
So speaking of continued growth, and I know this is just a question that's been on my mind, what can heritage brands learn when it comes to newer digital first world, and when it comes to engaging that younger consumer? What can heritage brands learn today?
From working on a heritage brand of Soft Sheen Carson, I will say, and leading that portfolio of over 11 brands, I think it's funny what TikTok can do. I would say that embrace the digital movement, be ready for it. Magic Shave Cream was one of the many brands in my Soft Sheen Carson portfolio. And when I tell you, when TikTok made people buy it, over 56 million views.
Yes.
Out of stock for roughly 6 months almost in 2020. And it anniversaried itself in 2021. And we were ready, right? We were ready. And it had a light that was just so effortlessly done by a group of consumers who found something they liked and talked about it. And the word spread like wildfire. So how do you uniquely engage TikTok to be a driving force for you in an unforced way? And I think heritage brands have to strike the right balance for that.
Hashtag TikTok made me buy it is really real, people. I like to say that TikTok is the epicenter of culture. It truly, truly is. I mean, everyone and anyone is on it. And if you're not paying attention, you will miss moments like that. So I have a question for you. If you could give your younger self just one piece of advice, looking back on your incredible career, what would that be?
I would say to my younger self, this is the one thing, and I know corporations will cringe, is that I thought my first company would be my last company. I thought that would be where I stay forever. And I tell my younger self, learn as much as you can, embrace every opportunity, and don't be afraid to step off the ladder. And I think that is what I've done throughout my career, is take really different steps and make really different moves and continue to be who you are. And I think that in my early career, I wanted to fit into the mold of what corporate America told me I should be. And I think had I truly stuck to my guns and embraced it a little bit earlier, who knows where I could be. But I'm thankful for where I am now.
Exactly. So thinking about not even the brands that you've worked with, are there any brands that you look up to?
I say I look up to so many brands, but the brand that is always truest to my heart and the brand that I think continues to do it well is Ben and Jerry's. I had the dynamic team ability to work with Jay Curley, Michael Hayes, and many of the individuals that are still leading that brand today. And I think the purpose that they put behind the brand, they just happen to sell ice cream, right?
Mhm.
And so it is the ability to create something that is so much bigger than who you are as a place that sells goods, is why I admire and continue to admire Ben and Jerry's so much.
Such a big brand that is just not afraid to speak up and create impact. So definitely agree on that front. I know we're coming up on 1 more minute, so I have one last question for you. What is your favorite food item on each of the menus?
So my favorite food item at Chopped, and I will be very specific, is the Tex-Mex ranch dressing. If
Wow.
I tell you, it's the best thing ever. And it's what is unique about Chopped. Like their dressings are handmade. I had the distinct opportunity of going into one of our commissaries and making the dressings, and it's just to see people who've been making the dressings for the last 20 years still there is phenomenal. And then I say on Dos Toros, our quesadilla is unique. If you've never
Yeah.
had a Dos Toros quesadilla, it's not your typical meat and cheese situation. Go try it. Make sure you put one of our bold sauces right on top. But the quesadilla at Dos Toros, and check out our latest and brand